So, a lot's been going on. I had to change my shave my beard off rather, because I was intimidated into doing it. Mi mano derecha has gone rogue on me, and I was afraid that if I left the beard, he was going to try and sell me out as a homeless person or something like that. So if you're there, give me a thumbs up. Let me know if the volume's okay, please. Shout out to Hungry. Shout out to Art. Shout out to Sharon. Shout out to Ethan. Shout out to Lizzie. Shout out to Isaac. So a lot of stuff's been going on. Today was a really rough day. It's like the devil himself got into my main man, and I had given him a gift of appreciation this month, and for last month, October, it was floating candles for them to celebrate Diwali. Diwali is the Hindu festival of lights, and so I gave his family, everyone in the family got floating candles. I never got thank you, kiss my butt or anything. And then this month, I got him one of those Food Saver vacuum sealers featured on Canadian Prepper. Really handy for sealing stuff for emergency. I guess he didn't know how to use it, but he just absolutely railed against how inconsiderate I was. What's up, Nana? And man, he has gone after me like the devil himself. But I had prayed for Mark. Mark has been really sick. And so I prayed for Mark, and Mark has been, I'm from Washington yes, I figured that from India. Everybody in my area is Singh or Patel or Agera. So I saw that, and I figured India, it should be like mid-morning in India. So Washington, D.C. When you get a social security number, it's like the VIN number on a car. It tells you where you were born and all of that. So when you get older, your memory goes backwards. I remember being born. I remember the room that I was born in at the old Memorial Hospital in D.C. And my mother had a lot of kids, so I kind of slid out like a sliding board. Is the volume okay? So in any case, I slid out like a sliding board. And the what's up, Slender? And what's up, William? I slid out like a sliding board. What's up, Texas? My sister-in-law had a package of dirt from Texas, and when she had my nephew, she had the package of dirt under her back so that she could say that Michael was born on Texas soil. But my mother was very old when I was born. And in any case, I was born in Washington at the old Memorial Hospital in Washington. It's derelict now. But in any case, the doctor held me upside down and slapped me. You know how they try and make the baby cry? The doctor slapped me, and then the nurse slapped me, and then my father slapped me, and then the janitor who was mopping the floor, he came by and slapped me. It was a rough beginning to a rough life. And then my mother unbuttoned to feed me. Yeah, doctor slapped me, and then the nurse slapped me, and the janitor slapped me. It's like everybody slapped me. And then they handed me off to my mother. She unbuttoned to feed me. And I looked up in horror because she was quite elderly at that point. And my first words were like, nah, I'll just have coffee and a cigarette. Thank you. I'm not down with the buttermilk. I'll just have coffee and a cigarette. You know, maybe a little toast later, maybe a bagel and cream cheese, but you know, not the buttermilk. So I hit the ground running. You're a student. Most Indians I know are engineers or doctors. I worked with an Indian company in my area making circuit boards for rockets in the military. It was a great job. It was such high pressure that I couldn't keep my blood pressure in check. Nana, it's been rough. It's been a rough week. I prayed for Mark. Mark has been really sick. After I prayed for Mark, I got really sick, which is what happens when you pray for somebody. You better be prayed up, because you're standing in the gap for the fiery darts and arrows that the devil is firing at the other person. So I prayed for Mark, who's been sick, and Mark's family and friends have rejected him. And that's exactly what happened to me lately. I lost my other channel. It's a sick world. Gone. I got really sick after I prayed for Mark. Mimano Derecha Raj went rogue on me, just like he was possessed by the devil himself. And I was like, man, I just gave you and your wife a nice gift of appreciation. And instead of saying thank you, you're telling me how inconsiderate I was because you wanted silver instead. I said, I can't get any silver. I had ordered some silver to give out as tips for the people at the hotel, and the package got lost in the U.S. mail. So I figured, well, somebody at the post office recognized the address from the silver company, and it never got to me. So I called the company up, and they didn't honor their guarantee, their replacement guarantee. And so I told the lady, I said, why did you mail it in a flat envelope? If you had mailed it in a box, the mailman would have had to bring the box in to the reception desk rather than stuff the envelope in the mailbox a quarter mile away down on the highway, where anybody could stop their car and reach into the mailbox and steal it, you know. So the lady at the silver company went from being very nice to being very nasty. And so I said, well, can I talk to the boss? So she hung up on me, and I tried a couple of times to talked to the boss at Golden Eagle Coins, and guy's name is Ray or something at Golden Eagle Coins, and the lady literally blocked my phone calls from getting to talk to the boss about the situation. I was a good customer. I bought silver coins every month because of the U.S. paper dollar coming, and so I didn't want to give people worthless paper. So I started giving people 1 and 2 ounce rounds of silver. So all of the silver I gave to people went up in value. The lady who's in the laundry at the place where I'm at, she looked at it like a dog at a new pan. She was like, well, what do I do with this, you know? So I tried to explain to her that it wasn't a quarter, that it was $30 worth of silver, you know, that I was giving her for doing my laundry. So she looked at it, you know. Then, you know, I explained to her in 2 languages what it was. I got to put some hand cream on my mummified hand. It's like every 15 minutes when you get my age that you got to put hand cream and stuff like that on. I'm not doing the Jeff Tubin off camera. I used to put hand cream on and then a pair of white cotton gloves and go to sleep with the gloves with the hand cream on is really good. But you know, it gets messy and all that other stuff. But in any case, it's been a rough week. Lost the channel, and I've been a YouTuber. For 12 years. My neck looks like this because I'm missing my beard. I had to cut the beard off because I figured that my man would try and sell me out as a homeless person because of my Oak Ridge Boys beard that I had. See, I normally keep my beard all the way up to Christmas so I can be Santa Claus for everybody for Christmas. But like I said, my right-hand man has been so fierce lately, I figured he would sell me out for being a homeless person if I kept the long beard. So trying to stay at one jump ahead of him, I shaved the beard off, you know. So if he rats me out, you know, I won't have the long beard. You know, because people go by the way you look and they judge you and all that other stuff. I'll tell you, fam, I'm going to say this straight out. We are in the last and evil days. If you think this election is going to change anything, you're wrong, okay? Everybody's still got their finger on the button. All the tanks are at everybody's borders. America is more than broke, $35 trillion in debt. Do you realize how impossible that is for us to repay? Even if we took the GDP for the next umpteen years, you know, every, thank you. If we took the GDP, every nickel and dime for the next, you know, umpteen years, we couldn't pay the debt back. So they collapsed the system on purpose, you know, giving money to Pakistan for gender studies and crap like that. Just tossing money to Iran, you know, in the middle of the night, the $150 billion that Barry and Michael sent to Iran. I meant to say Barry and Michelle, sent to Fraudy and Slim, sent to Iran. We were like, well, you better stop that. It makes no sense. It makes absolutely no sense at all. I just got a warning for using the wrong words. So they just interrupted. That's what that little blip was. So if I have to reboot the phone, you'll know what it is, and you'll hang on until I get the phone switched to my other VPN. So you have to be very careful with the words that you use, because they gate your phone. That means that if you use the wrong words, then the people who are listening in, will tap the call, and then it slows things down. You can tell a third party is listening. It's like when I wore the red, white, and blue flag hat, and I made the video thanking. It said from Donald, so I made a video. I wore the hat, and I made a video that just said, thank you, Donald. I don't know what Donald it was. I get stuff from like Kelly Osbourne. Ozzy Osbourne's daughter sent me chocolate. The country singer girl, she's been on my channel before. Glenn Beck. I used to hear from Glenn Beck on the one channel, the guy with the little bow tie. So it's not like I'm impressed or anything with anybody, but I got a YouTube slam, and it said that they had cropped my thumbnail to omit the flag hat, because some people saw the American flag as hate speech. I mean, really, in America, a couple nights before the election in America, and you wear an American flag hat, and that gets censored as hate speech, but a Palestinian flag won't? I mean, come on, fam. So they blocked the channel, and long story short, I said, well, I'm not going through this again with YT, with the Thought Police. So I was like, I'll just go scorched earth and wipe the channel out. And I wiped out 1,375 very nice videos that are gone forever. And I was like, well, if that's all they want, they don't want any serious content. They just want puppies and clowns and kittens and balloons and that kind of stuff. But fam, I urge you, don't be impolite to other people. Don't gloat. Don't gloat about who won and who lost, because nobody won, okay? Get that firmly through your head. Nobody won. This whole thing has been a dumpster fire for America, all right? The shoe hasn't dropped yet. The other shoe has not dropped. There's no making America great again. We're too far in debt. Everybody's got their finger on the button. They're going to put a stranglehold on our economy before we get a chance to come back, to make a comeback. Vladimir has said he will not cooperate. He said he will not cooperate with Orange Man Bad, okay? He said he is not. See, you got to keep in mind what's already happened. Orange Man Bad told Vladimir years ago that he was going to fry Moscow if they ever went into Ukraine, okay? So now they're in Ukraine, and they still have that in the back of their mind that Orange Man Bad said he was going to fry them. So guess what they will probably do? They're probably going to fry us first. I would say probably I would say probably that when they start, when the buttons get pushed, because see, another factor is all of these countries have run out of regular ammo, okay? And there's not time for anybody to make enough ammo to win, okay? Everybody in the whole world is short on ammo. You got these men, brave men in Crane. They're flying these old-ass jets that we've given them, and it's just a flying coffin, because by the time they get into range to fire on the new jets that the other side has, the other side can wipe them out from 4 or 5 miles away. And you figure the old jets got to get within the line of vision to fire on the new jets. So by the time the old jets come up to the new jets have already pressed their button and fried the brave man in the old jet. So all of this sending stuff over there, and it's old tanks and it's old planes and stuff, it's putting very brave men into flying coffins and rolling coffins. That's all we've done, you know. So I'm not knocking America. I love our country, all right? The reason they do that is so that if a tank or a jet crashes, they can't reverse engineer that piece of equipment, okay? That's why they do that. All of these people would still be alive. Think about it. They would all be alive. They all know each other. They're related, okay? The people in Crane speak Russian, and they're all related. It's a civil WAR, all right? If we had just minded our own business, those people would be working their potato fields and growing their wheat in Europe's bread belt, okay? Europe's breadbasket under another flag. They would have been perfectly contented for the most part. You have sympathizers in either country, okay? Nothing would have happened. All of these people would still be alive, except for a speech that Joe said. Joe said that if the Bear Country went into Crane on a limited basis, that the Iron Eagle wouldn't do anything about it. And 2 weeks after he made that speech, bang, the whole world was at WAR, okay? And they are not going to back down. Nothing is going to change, okay? The Pope himself said that we were in WW3. Everything is going to prophecy. Damascus is almost a ruinous heap, like it says in the Bible it would be. The fulfilled prophecy is the veracity of the Bible. Everything is happening. Everything is right out of the book of Revelation and some of the other books in the Bible, okay? Just like today's newspaper. So shame on those pastors that are saying, well, Orange Man Bad is back in office and we got 4 more years. Don't fool yourself. It says in the Word of God, when they say peace and safety, when they say it, that doesn't mean that it necessarily has happened. It says when they say peace and safety, sudden destruction will come upon them. Also, it is not up to Donald Trump to act like God to put the world back together. Donald Trump in an interview said that he was a good Presbyterian, but that he did not feel that he owed God an apology, i.e. he doesn't confess sin, he just tries to do better the next day. That's almost a direct quote, all right? So he is not a Christian. He's not a Christian. He's ganged up with Elon Musk, who has made that chip that's going into everybody's head, which is probably going to be part of the mark of the beast system. So you have that, okay? Elon Musk wore a Halloween costume with an upside down cross. All right. All of these people are Luciferians. They're Fabian socialist Luciferians. Don't be fooled by these people. Hillary is a Fabian socialist Luciferian. She's also a witch. She practices spirit cooking, which is taking urine and poop and semen and blood and smearing it on themselves and smearing it on walls and doing all of these incantations. They will bake a cake in the form of a baby, and then they'll cut that cake up and eat it. There's a video of a party back in 1975, and people have antlers on their heads, and they have bird cages, and all of this Illuminati symbolism and stuff. That's witchcraft. It's hidden knowledge. If you get knowledge from God through the Holy Spirit of God, all of us are on the same level playing field with God. The way that you get knowledge from God through the Holy Spirit to your spirit is you press into God with prayer. Most people won't take the time to turn off the rap music, turn off the video games and get with God. All right, in genuine, authentic prayer. And for those of you that put a pronoun in front of Christian, you say you're a pro this Christian, you're pro that Christian. Very possibly you're not. You're just a casual cafeteria Christian, or what's called a cultural Christian. The reason being, God still considers snipping a baby out of its mother's belly and throwing it in the trash like seeds out of a pumpkin. He says he hates hands that shed innocent blood. Now, I'm not judging anybody who had to do that. I understand that. Your boyfriend got you pregnant and then he left you for another woman. Your family doesn't want to support you. They say, go handle your business. I understand that, okay? I'm not one of those kooky Westboro Baptist people that on top of all of the agony the girl has gone through is going to yell at the girl and tell her she's on her way to hell on top of everything. I got that, okay? I'm there with you. If you say that you're a pro-abomination Christian and you are for grown men walking down the street with their dingle jangle lingle dingling about and their exposed hairy butt in front of little children, you're not a Christian. I'm sorry. You think you're a Christian, you're not. All right? It says in the Word of God, such were some of you, but you came out of that. If you're not willing to come out of it, you're like Esau who traded his birthright for a bowl of stew, okay? You're not a Christian. I'm sorry. I have a bad background myself. I was used as a child. I know all about that stuff where you're hungry and the nice couple will take you out to lunch, okay? And they're like, well, it's free. You don't have to worry about it. We'll buy you lunch. And then they say, well, you got to pay us back. I told you I didn't have any money. Well, you just go home and sleep with us. We'll take you home. We go upstairs. All three of us hop in bed. And yeah, there are people like that. I know all about that. I lived on the streets since I was 15 years old. My father put me out because he was afraid. He was afraid that the next time he pushed me down the basement stairs or went to crush the cigarette out on my stomach, that I would kick his butt, because I went to work full time at 14 years old. I went to school still. went to college, worked full time. Nobody gave me anything. I worked for $9 a day, 50 over a half a century ago, $9 a day. And there were men raising families on that kind of money back then. All right. So I know all about hardship. Okay. And my father gave me an autographed copy of his book of poetry because it was going to impact the world with beauty and peace. And he gave me an autographed copy. Two geese fly into the sun so close their shadow is as one. Isn't that beautiful, son? And I gave you an autographed copy of my book. Dad, hello, Dad. I'm the one that you just pushed down the stairs and beat the crap out of a little while ago, and you're going to give me an autographed copy of your book. Thanks, Dad. And then he put me out at 15 years old, put me out. When my mother was passing away, my family did not let me visit her because they said that would upset her. I was a good kid. I worked for a mob-owned trash company. And the cool thing was when my mother passed, all the mob companies sent all of these beautiful flowers to my mother's funeral. From Tony, Big Tony, and all of that. So I learned to keep my mouth shut as a boy, picking up garbage for the mob. And I was in the shop one day, and this guy wanted to form a union. He wanted to form a union. So the boss came in, the boss came in the shop. What's going on here? Why aren't y'all working? And I said, well, I'm waiting for my truck to be fixed because some of the men were sabotaging their trucks, those that were pro-union. So in any case, the guy who was talking union was caught. The boss caught him, all right? And the boss goes over to the other guy, and what's your excuse? What are you doing? He's like, I'm just talking. Get back to work. You don't need to talk. But in any case, the boss is listening to the guy for a while, okay? He's listening, and he's got this great big rubber mallet, and he's twisting it and looking at it. And the guy who was talking union had his hand on this metal counter where they repaired the parts for the garbage trucks. And the boss goes, he looks at the mallet, looks at the guy's hand, he goes, bam, with the mallet. And the guy goes, oh, and puts his dirty hand in his mouth. His dirty garbage man hand, he puts it in his mouth, he's, you know. And he's like, you're right-handed, right? And the guy, well, get back to work. You'll be okay. You're right-handed. Get back to work. Now, what I heard about that guy, and like I said, this is over a half century ago, I heard that they got annoyed with the man, and the man ended up being dumped in the back of a garbage truck and packed and then sent to the incinerator, and he went up over top of Rockville, Maryland in smoke. That's what I heard. But I did not, because I was just a kid, I did not want to wind up in the back of a garbage truck myself. And those people did not play. The boss's wives would come, and they were all like 60 and 70, dressed up like hookers in these really tight jeans where you could see their camel toe through the jeans. And they wore high heels and ankle bracelets 60 and 70-year-old ladies, okay, furs around their neck, drive up in a Lincoln Continental or a Cadillac. And see, the boss would say, well, I'm going to take the Cadillac. You go ahead and take the Lincoln. I'm going to take the Cadillac and get the oil changed in it. You go ahead and take the Lincoln. And I was like, boss, why do you make your wife always swap cars and take the other car back home? He's like, that way, if somebody put a BOMB in the car while it was parked, his wife would get in the car, get blown to bits, and then he would just have his mistress. And the wives didn't care. They came on Friday for their money, and they didn't care that the husbands were cheating. They just wanted their money. I have to take my inhaler. Oh, gosh. I hope you don't mind. I got to use my inhaler. So, my body is giving me a warning. Hang on a second. All right. Sorry to do that on camera, but it's a little better. I want to make sure that my oxygen content stays up there. I check everything: blood pressure, oxygen content. But that was my childhood, was being on the street with drug addicts and prostitutes. And I never got involved with DRUGS. The Lord kept me away from that. So, let me see what my oxygen is doing. Oh, it's 95. 95 is good. 71 beats per minute. My heart beats a little fast. It usually goes up when I go on channel. But God kept me from a lot of stuff. But you can't believe what these people are saying, like what they're saying about Orange Man bad. Yes, I'm very careful about stuff. When they said Orange Man bad got with Stormy Daniels, nothing could be further from the truth, because Donald is a germaphobe. He won't even drink from an open glass of water. In a meeting, you notice he always has a closed bottle of water so nobody can spit in his water, okay? And if you think that he kissed on a porn star that's had more ding-dongs in her mouth than a Cupcake Factory, you know those Hostess ding-dongs, then you got another, you're naive. She was just a piece of rich man's eye candy. When my mother passed away, I went to her funeral in a limousine. I spent $100 for the afternoon for a limousine. I went with a very beautiful hooker. She looked like Helen Crump off of Andy and Mayberry. She was a friend. And she was a shoulder to cry on. Nothing sexual. I wanted to show my family that I had made it, okay? So I rolled up on my mother's funeral in a limousine with a pretty woman at my side. The priest disrespected my mother. He was in a green t-shirt, smoking a cigarette. My brother was laughing uncontrollably like an idiot, like an imbecile. We were lead pallbearers. I told my brother, I said, I'm going to have to slap the ever-loving crap out of you if you don't stop laughing. It was a total circus. The priest didn't even get my mother's name right. So my father slipped him a few $100s for the funeral. My mother walked out of the Catholic Church in 1973 because she bought the lie that a little baby in his mother's belly was nothing but a clump of cells. So, yeah, she walked out of the Catholic Church. I never got to say goodbye. When she was sick, I bought the most expensive color TV, $468 portable color TV with remote, which was very unusual back then. I never got a thank you, kiss my butt, go to heck from my family. And my father gave the TV to my sister, who tried to stab me in the kitchen when I was 11 years old. That's a different story. But fam, don't believe these politicians, and don't throw wood on the fire. They're trying to get everybody against each other. They're playing good cop, bad cop. They give you a little, they take it away. They give a little, they take it away. They make money plentiful. And then all of you people go out and you buy a house and you remodel the house with your granite countertops. And then the politicians tighten up all the money. People start losing these houses that they've spent their money on granite countertops. And then these rich elites, they go in, they grab the stuff up for pennies on the dollar. It's all like 8-year cycles of doing that. If you look, 2008, and then a few years later, up and down and up and down. It's all greed. It's all greed. None of these politicians care about you or your body, all of that other stuff. They want everybody fighting each other. They want to depopulate the world. Like I said, another thing about Orange Man Bad, it says of the Antichrist, he will have no respect for women, okay? Or he will not regard women. We used to think that meant that the Antichrist was going to be a homosexual. No, it says the Antichrist does not regard women, okay? Who do you know who calls women pigs and dogs and stuff? Ring a bell, okay? It says you will know the Antichrist, by the way, because he's going to get SHOT in his right eye, and it's going to cause a stroke or something, and his right arm is going to wither up. So when you see somebody get shot in the right eye and their arm withers up, that's going to be your man. We all thought it was going to be JFK when he got capped in the 60s. We all thought that he was coming back as the Antichrist. A lot of people thought that. But we are in the end of the end days, all right? Got rogue robots. You got AI now. You got people praying to robots. People have prayed to Barack Obama. The Jews think that this one rabbi is Messiah. Some of the Jews think that Donald Trump is Messiah. And believe me, fam, the Jews aren't looking for a spiritual Messiah. They're looking for someone to lead Israel back to greatness. They're not necessarily looking for someone to come down out of the clouds, okay? They're looking for the rebuilding of the temple. I had a dream 4 times now that a rocket that's fired into Israel is going to hit the Dome of the Rock and blast it to bits. And then that's when the temple will be rebuilt. I've had that dream 4 times now. So whether it comes to pass, I won't have to worry about it because I'll be taken up in the rapture. I don't have to worry about that. And fam, I'm telling you, get on board before the tribulation starts. When this stuff happens and it all goes down, it's going to be just like the Word of God says. Sudden destruction comes in 1 hour. I believe it's literal. I believe America is the Babylon that the Bible talks about. And I believe this dream that I had, in this dream that I had, America got NUKED'd twice, all right? 2 NUKES, all right? One for Hiroshima, one for what we did to Nagasaki, and 700 million casualties. I was told in the dream to pay America back for feticide, for all of the infanticide of little babies, innocent babies that have been swept into the trash, okay? So America is under the judgment of God. Donald Trump is not God. It's not going to be his way. It's going to be God's way. And the tribulation train is still chugging down the tracks. Everybody has their agenda, okay? They let 20 million people into America supposedly to tip the vote on behalf of the Democrats. Those 20 million people didn't vote. Where are they now? They're all over the country in various T cells waiting to pounce when they get the call. You have a channel in America now. It's all Chinese with no interpretation. That's against the equity in media rule. Equity in media, there's supposed to be a translation, or there's supposed to be an equivalent of what you're seeing on TV. We don't even know what this Chinese channel in America is transmitting right now to people, okay? You have all of these people in the country illegally. You know, a lot of them just want the economic benefit. A lot of them are not well-intentioned, okay? I'll put it that way. Now, I myself am not for mass deportations. I'm only for kicking out the ones that are the bad actors, the ones that are going around chopping people with machetes and stuff like that, like we've seen on the Ring doorbell video, okay? I gotta go in a few minutes. The heart of an elderly person does not keep up with the lungs. They get out of balance. And it feels like you've taken in a big mouthful of water at the beach. It's very uncomfortable, so I'm going to have to scrape my legs into the wheelchair and sit up for a few minutes to clear my lungs out. You can feel the fluid get higher and higher. Very uncomfortable. I'm praying that when that time comes, that I'll be able to trust God, relax, and let it happen. I've already been through the process one time, and they revived me, okay? When I looked up at the nurse, I went like this. I went, why? Why? Because I was in absolute paradise. The nurse looked down at me. She said, because we are obligated. So, in any case, this time when it happens, if it happens, and I'm good with it because I would rather have more people get born again and blood washed, spirit filled, than be selfish and want the rapture to happen just for me to avoid a little bit of discomfort, okay? I've been absolutely faithful for those of you that have asked for prayer. And believe me, fam, I have paid literally a hell of a price. I got the one channel canceled. I got very sick after I prayed for Mark. I got abandoned by my best friend after praying for Mark, who got abandoned by his friends. I had the spirit of depression after I prayed for, what's his name, 1111. So everything that I prayed good for other people came back bad for me from the fiery darts of the enemy. So I want to thank Sharon again. Those of you that got me the diapers and the old people piddle pads. My PayPal link is in the description. I could use more old people piddle pads. I go through a bunch of them every day. And that's one of the things that Man Raj threatened me about. Because he's implying that I should be in a nursing home rather than in this hotel situation. They're not good with me lying on a bed on a pad, you know. So even though I change it and change myself and wash, he's saying that he smells me over top of my neighbor who's smoking that real nasty marijuana, that skunk. Raj claims that he can smell me when he opens up the door versus the pot that my neighbor's smoking, you know. Very hurtful, but very threatening, because what he's saying is he can give me the boot anytime he wants to. So I've literally been praying that God will bind him according to the word of God, that he will bless those that bless me, and he will block and bind those who try and be a curse to me. Now, I'm not saying that I wish him any hurt, harm, danger, or loss. I still pray for his soul's salvation, okay? I used to work in nursing also. I know that most of them die from neglect, because a nurse cannot take care of 15 people adequately all in one shift. I'm very aware that most nursing home patients die of neglect. It's not malice or anything like that. You cannot take one man to the bathroom for 45 minutes when you've got 14 other people that you have to take care of. So last time I was in the hospital, I got what they call now passive elderly care. They wheeled me into a room with a covered up window. They didn't give me water. They didn't give me any of my medicine. They didn't monitor me. I literally had to call 911 and say, well, look, if I can't get out of this hospital, then I need to have the police come. So when I told them that, they capitulated and took me back home. They took me back home. They let the bedclothes fall off of me while they were trying to put me in the wheelchair. I spent 4 minutes outside of my door, totally naked, at 4 o'clock in the morning, and they did not use a gate strap to safely put me in the chair. I almost fell on the ground. So I know all about that. I work nursing home. One of the hardest, dirtiest jobs you have for very little money. Fam, I gotta go and scrape my legs into the wheelchair and sit up. I desperately need your prayers, as I have been faithful praying for you all. I love you all. I wish you all the best and a good night. Poppity Pops out.